up, my brother?
I'm good.
How you doing, man? It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, man. I've been thinking about culture. I've been thinking about different locations. I've been thinking about people who've inspired me along the way. And when we originally met in Afrotech, man, I just knew it was something special about what you had going on in Portland. I'm in Portland, Oregon. It's vonzell, Dondrico, filmmaker extraordinaire. I'm here with my brother NehemiahBooker, artist, film producer, community builder. Giving it to the Most High, man. You working strong. It's a pleasure, bro. I'm in your city.
Man, it's a pleasure for me to be here. Man, thank you for this opportunity to sit down and talk with you. And this is my city, P.O., Portland, Oregon, the City of Roses. Y'all may know it as the Trailblazers. Okay. Damian Lillard, Terry Porter, Clyde Drexler. Kevin Duckworth, Cliff Robinson, rest his soul. He just passed last year. But yeah, man, this is the City of Roses. It's probably one of the most beautiful cities in the U.S. City of Bridges.
Just me coming up from San Francisco and that being that road trip. I talked about having that road trip for a while because I heard about the scenic route and how beautiful it is. And then, we don't hear a lot around the world of that scenic route. And so when you take that scenic route, and I see why it's a rainy city and it's so green and it's so beautiful. When you take that scenic route, when you come into the city, you don't actually know what the culture is. So I wanted to come sit down with you because I feel like when I met you, I knew you was an artist. We was at Afrotech. In 2018 was at Afrotech. It was a big moment. I stepped with you like, hey, bro, how you doing? What's your name, man? I'm networking. That's what I do. But I knew you as an artist because of your style, man. You had this incredible hat on. Where did your style come from? Because you're a stylish guy, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I dress, I feel that your clothes or how you dress is an expression of who you are. Yeah. So I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and I express myself through my songs, through what I write or how I'm feeling. The same way I do with my clothes. So one day I may feel like putting on a suit, but I'm gonna make that joker fly. You know what I'm saying? Or I may feel like today I got on a t-shirt, but I got, a scarf on, something that's on whatever. So it's just an outward expression of how I'm feeling on the inside. And I feel good all the time, bro. I don't need no drugs, I don't need no alcohol, I don't need nothing. And no slight to nobody else or trying to, be extra preachy about it. But man, I get a high off of life, man. And I just think of where I was to where I am now, and I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed, truly blessed.
So music, did you have an upbringing in music? Like, how did who influenced you, and how did the music thing start for you?
Yeah, man. So I started singing when I was about 3 years old.
Wow.
My mother and father is pastors. Okay. So my mom was a person that always pushed me forward. So she pushed me up there and started singing, and it took a hold to me, man, and I couldn't let it go. Now, I come from a musical family, so my uncles sing, they play, they do all that. So I was around it all the time. But my mother, my legacy. But my mother, she really was influential in pushing and making sure I stayed with it. And singing in church. We came from a small church, so a lot of times my dad and them, they didn't have nobody to play the organ or to sing or whatever. So we, the kids, had to get up there and do it. So you kind of got good by default because you had to do it. But then, it's a certain level where you can play or you can sing and it's okay. And then it's another level where you gifted, that's a gift.
Okay.
And I really feel that God's gifted me in the way of song and expression and art, and I do it both ways through music and now film and photography. Okay. And I'm telling stories.
So originally, it was the family foundation that pushed you on that stage to sing, and then it grew into songwriting. Yeah. And really, what point in your life, because as a young black male, having that type of influence in your life, what point in your life where you just knew this was your calling?
Man, I would say I had to be about 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
Early. Just singing at church. and I didn't want to stop.
Okay.
I get into I lock into these modes where I feel like I transcend the crowd, the audience. Like I'm not even in my body when I'm singing. I know it sounds kind of weird to some, but as an artist, that feeling is the most euphoric feeling ever. That when you totally leave who you are and become one with Source through song, and that's what I've done.
You know, I think it's very important when we talk about cities and we visit. Like I'm here in Portland for a few days.
Yeah.
And where's the culture? Like I know you gotta have the influencers who have been raised here and they know music, they know culture, but you know, Portland is known as an artistic and cultural and musical city. You know, tell me a little bit about Portland.
Yeah, Portland, man, is aesthetically beautiful.
Okay.
So I've traveled around, me being an international artist, been to Japan and Tokyo. The cities are great. New York is great. LA is great. No, the palm trees, the sunshine, I totally get it. No disrespect to the people that live there, but man, y'all ain't got nothing on PO, bro. And it's almost like I call it God country, like Alice in Wonderland, like somebody like literally carved out trees and mountains and rocks and stuff like that. So aesthetically it's beautiful, and I really believe that because of our surrounding is so beautiful that it influences everyone that's in the city to create. And I think when you add that together, like if you go outside and you looking at pretty stuff all day, it's gonna make you feel pretty on the inside, like, oh man, I like this, I like that, I like that. So I definitely feel that the city as a whole helps us to be creative, just with the energy and the visual effects.
So I know we all have grown over time as an artist. When was that first big break for you in the music industry?
Man, I can remember that. It was like yesterday. I had to open up for Virtue. They were a huge gospel group back in the late 90s, 2000s. And you know, I had a lot of success here in Portland, local talent shows. We had a big play called Red Beans and Rice that everybody came, we packed it out. So I was a star here in Portland because I've been singing since I've been little. Everybody knew my dad and everything. But then I went to Seattle and I opened up for this group called Virtue, which was a national artist. And they said that I slayed it. They said that, yo, bro, I don't know if we was coming for the opening act or the main act. So, you know, and I still stay humble, like, yo, man, thanks, I did a good job. But anyway, I got the attention of some people up in Seattle. One to name is Derek Clark. And he's a extremely talented, probably one of the best producers on the planet, that may not got all his just due, but it's coming, D, it's coming, man, you gonna get it. And another guy named Brian Osborne. And they both got me to the attention of Troy E. Wright, which was Jimi Hendrix's husband at the time. That's Jimi Hendrix's sister. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix's sister. So anyway, make a long story short, we they had audition for a group called Soul, and auditioned for that, and basically I got picked for the audition. So here I'm in a group with 9 other people. We started with 9 other people. One of the lead singers was Crystal Aiken, was a huge gospel artist. She won Sunday Best some years back. Talented brothers and sisters, man, and we did it. We debuted number 36 in Billboard for 9 weeks. We stayed there in the gospel charts, and we were competing with like Kurt Franklin and all stuff like that. Went all over the place. Anyway, didn't work out. You know, we had some of the same stories, unsung stories with business not being right and things like that. But I don't have no hard feelings with nobody. We love everybody. But that started my big break. That let me see. It was huge. Yeah, because because I left. I was in, you know, little Portland to some. And here I'm now on a national stage where I'm seeing a lot of people that I've seen my whole life, you know, face to face. They're on the same stage with me. And I mean, it really changed my life and showed me that 2 things, that, hey man, you got something special. You can do this. And then also that, you know, you ain't no different than anybody else. And to keep going. Keep pushing forward.
So fast forward, you look, you know, because I think a lot of times as an artist, we got to understand where we come from to know where we're going. Fast forward, 2021. Who is Nehemiah now as an artist? You know, the growth, the ups and downs, the experiences, the learning curves. who is Nehemiah now as an artist? Like, who are you? Like, what does this mean right now to be sitting in 2021? You know, you got some new music coming. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
Bro, man, Nehemiah right now, I feel like a complete artist right now.
Okay.
And I mean that in the sense of that all my trials and tribulations leading up to this point has created the man that you see here. I'm confident. I'm versed in so many. Now I'm steady learning. Don't let the confidence mistake for like can't learn nothing and I'm the best. No, I'm a student of this game. So I'm in it for the long haul. I ain't gave up now and I ain't gonna give up. But with all the things that I've learned prior to this has prepared me for this moment so I can give you, the world, my best art. Okay. And it's a lot to come. So I'm so excited. Like, you can see what's on the inside of me. Yeah. It's like the excitement for what's coming through my films, through the music. And not only am I doing music, not only am I not doing just music, I'm doing movies and film now. Okay. And so I'm putting it together and being able to tell a holistic story from a whole approach, from an audio, soulful, music format, and then also from a visual format also.
So music, I see music and media and film, you know, across the board. All of that means a lot to you. What you got coming right now? Like, what can we see coming?
Good question. So I got a new record dropping. Everybody's been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. Okay. Got a couple of titles or whatnot. Right now it's going to be self-titled. It may change. Okay. It'll be my second studio release. I mean, I've done a bunch of singles and features on records, rap, R&B, everything. But this will be the second studio record. It's going to give you a lot of material. So that's what's coming. I'm hoping to get it around March, April time, second quarter. And then film-wise, I got a couple things. I got a reality show that I'm working on. I got a show called Crazy Love, and it basically depicts relationships in the three most craziest forms: out of control, square bear, and kind of the one that everybody wants. And then I also have a food show called Taste the City, and we got a couple of clips on YouTube now and whatnot, but we're getting ready to revamp that and go with that. And then I got some short films I want to work on, some shorts, one called The Shoeshine Boy, and basically depicts a young boy that's been in the 40s, and showing his issue of how he had to come up just to survive. Yeah. So it's a bunch of stuff, and then I'm open for a lot of stuff, man. I'm willing to work with whoever, and so that's what's up.
You know, when I met you Afrotech. And anytime I seen any brother from another part of the country that had the swag you had, and you know, we just connected off the minute. Yeah. How did you get there? What led you to technology?
Man,
how did you get there?
That's huge.
Tell me a little bit about your history in tech.
Yeah, so basically I did some work for the Urban League here in Portland, and a guy named RyanCarson, I didn't know him at the time, was looking for some specifically African American to do media for his company Treehouse. Okay. At the time, I didn't know who Treehouse was. What is that? You know, I thought it was like, to be honest with you, I thought it was like a kid's school or something, or a kindergarten or something like that. Got up there, and the man just started talking to me about how white privilege has kind of wrecked, you know, the world that we live in. And he started talking about how, you know, he started 5 laps ahead of a lot of people that's been in marginalized communities, and particular African-American people of color. And I'm like, yo, bro, why is this white dude saying all this stuff? This is what I'm saying to myself. Yeah. But I'm just listening because I actually agree with him. But I'm like, yo, bro, he just met me and everything. So anyway, he said, I'm looking for somebody to tell the story of my company basically going on the road to bring awareness to the diversity that's needed in the industry of tech. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So he had me sold the first day, but then I was like, yo, I went home. I was like, man, this dude kind of maybe be a lot crazy or something. Yeah. And he said, called me back. He said, well, you're hired for the gig. And we started it. And to be honest with you, I didn't know a whole lot of tech. I mean, I was tech on the end of the user. Okay. I was more on a user tech because I use cameras and music equipment and, computer savvy, but I didn't work on the back end. And man, working with RyanCarson blew my world. The reason why, I mean, I could talk about him all day.
Yeah. That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because how small the world is. I met you. You was from Portland, Oregon. I met Ryan, and my reason for wanting to come to Portland, Oregon was meeting Ryan at Tech Inclusion in 2018, us having this moment where it was a soft intro from someone else, and we standing there and we're talking, introducing ourselves, and Ryan was asking me these questions because he was really serious about like taking his company and looking at it critically. Like he was like, man, I was raised with a certain like privilege. I grew up with a certain environment, and he's like, but I want to do something different, vonzell, you know. And I'm gonna tell you, Ryan was one of the most motivative people for me as a filmmaker, because he is the first person who told me, man, you got your film, let me know, man, I'll invest in it. And I had nobody told me that, because I was gonna invest in it. So I was gonna invest my money and my time and my effort in it. So he just gave me some fuel. He added fuel to the fire, because when I pitched to him, he said, oh, that's a great idea. I'll invest in it. And that took me on a roll to go and create the whole film, because I was always thinking independent. So when I thought about Portland, I was like, when I met you, you said, oh, I'm working at Treehouse. And I was like, wow, that's a small circle. What did you learn, I think, from that experience about Black people and white people in tech in this city? Like,
wow. Man, Ryan taught me a lot, man. And I hold back tears sometimes, because some of the stuff that I seen when I was with him on the road, just the unbalance that it is when it comes to minorities in working in a field of tech, where a lot of the generational wealth is. That's what brings me to tears, because how far we are behind as people of color. We did some study in like some numbers. You know, a majority of African Americans or people of color, they make about $30,000 to $40,000 a year in their households, where you got people of Caucasian descent, that's about 150 or even more. And that's been that way for year after year after year after year.
So that generational gap,
has caused a lot of the desperations and the problems that's systemic that goes in the communities. By not being able to provide for your own family and just not having no way out. And so us to see it, but then it's one thing to say that, but then when you go to these events and you look down at the crowd, either in a green room or in a top office, and you see 10, 15 Black folks, but you see, 100, 300 white people, all with jobs with 150K plus. You see you see the difference. So he taught me how we're going to change that. And that's what I learned at Treehouse, of how to make the playing field balanced. Ryan wasn't about giving people charity. You got to work for it. That's one of the most hardest working dudes I know. But at the same time, he stated to me, like, a lot of these people that you see in these positions started 5 laps ahead of a person that looked like me. And that's not fair.
And just knowing that, though, I think that information alone, if you know that, if somebody gives you that information, that empowers you to think different about what you need to do for your own life. Correct.
That
empowers you, and I think that's, if nothing more you got out of it, that was an experience. You went in, you did some work. Was that your first tech company?
That was my first tech company.
Media-wise?
Media-wise, and I worked with him in so many different capacities. So I worked with him media at Treehouse, print work, and then I worked with him in enterprise sales of selling huge packages to these companies to bring more diversity in their company of people that look like myself. So he taught me, and Ryan said something to me one time when we were in a car. He said, Nehemiah, I'm gonna teach you everything that I know. And I want you to, he said, I'm gonna open the door for you, and I want you to run through it. That's what he told me.
And so let me tell you something. The reason why I'm here, so I'm very purpose driven. I'm a person who, I'll see something in somebody, and it might be it might translate a year and a half later that I'm making that visit. What's the opposition and what's the opportunity in Portland culturally?
Good question. Culturally, Portland has struggled with being more diverse. I mean, you also see what's on TV, see whatever. But I wanted to let you all know that we out here. They got black folks out here. They got people of color out here. Yeah. And basically, it's a lot of suppressed talent that hasn't been. They had no spotlight for years. I would say 2 or 3 generations. Yeah. But right now, we're waking up. We're woke, and we have companies like Nike, Treehouse, Adidas, some of these big brands that are really embracing the local culture here, and they're doing better. Now, could they do better? Could they do more? Probably yes. Yeah. And I think with COVID and us recalibrating and pivot, you know, what our lives and how the world is going, I think you're gonna see a lot of change. But the culture is here. We got a huge sneaker culture. We got fashion. It's all we don't be fly. Yeah. So I mean, I know y'all cats in LA, y'all think y'all fly in New York. I got it. Man, come to PO, man. I'm gonna show you what's up.
I'm gonna tell you something I've noticed already on the streets is that because of the weather.
Yeah.
You know,
because
you gotta.
We got more diversity of clothes.
Yeah. You might put on a trench coat with a nice turtleneck, and that style. I like that style.
Yeah. You fly it on too.
I brought 5 or 6 jackets because I knew I was coming to Seattle, and I like style, and I like because I think it's an expression of who you are, and I think. In a city, this is what I've seen, because I come from a city similar, I feel, to Portland. I come from a very black and white city. Okay. All right. Jacksonville, Florida is one of the most separate black and white cities in America. But I also come from a city that I feel like is left behind branding-wise. Oh. So if I go wherever, Atlanta, whatever, and I meet you, and you say you're from Portland, Oregon, I can't envision Portland, Oregon in my mind outside of the Clipper, you know, just the sports. Yeah,
Trailblazers.
The Trailblazers. Yeah. Like in my mind, I'm like, okay, all I know is Clyde Drexler, you know, I don't know an artist that came out of Portland that's going to come straight to my mind. I don't know what is that thing that makes Portland special. So what makes Portland special? When I come here, what makes it special? Now, to me, riding in the city, I seen trails and mountains. I seen an outdoor culture that it made it special to me. But what culturally that makes Portland special, and from your viewpoint?
I think that in Portland, you know, the main thing is you can get the 4 seasons. So, and then you're probably about 15 to 20 minutes from skiing. If that's your thing. I ain't never skied yet, so the brother won't be on the mountain sooner or later. But hiking, outdoors, indoors, everything is right at your fingertips, and you don't have to go that far to achieve that. The most important is our food game is crazy. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, it's crazy in a good way. Yeah. And what that means is...
Restaurant culture is crazy.
Yeah, the restaurant culture is here. So we like a melting pot of all the cultures.
Okay.
And because...
So food is here. You know, you got fashion that's here, you got outdoor living that's here, you know, you got museums and all kind of different dope spaces. Yeah,
that's what I told you. Aesthetically, visually, Portland, we winning. Like you know, I know cats rep they hood and they city. I feel it, but man, dude, it's levels to this thing.
Yeah. So,
and it's all God country.
I'm looking for the black community.
I feel it. Yeah.
Where can I find them?
Yeah. So man,
I know it's COVID.
Yeah.
But you know, do the. Like, cause you got some cities where black people were pushed out of the city. Yeah. And black people were repositioned in their city. Yeah. Did that happen in Portland? Or
man, what? So now so with all the smiling I'm doing everything, I wouldn't be real not to be honest with you.
I need to do.
Yeah, Portland, Oregon has a very racist past. Okay. And we all know it. And I even had to deal with that. And the gentrification here, it was ridiculous. Okay. I mean, I know it happened all over the U.S., but here in Portland, it was like the folks just got taken advantage of. Okay. And that's why my documentary, We Are Here, is going to, you know, talk about or whatnot that I want to work on.
Tell me a little bit about We Are Here, because, You know, I want to see that come to life.
So my thing is this: we were here is not to bring racial tensions or to bring hatred, but it's to talk about it was thriving cultures here before the people from California came, before the people from the East Coast came, and like, oh, Portland is great, brother. Like, no, we was winning before then. Yeah. So we was I want to shine a light on what's happening before all the money and the big companies came or whatnot. This area was about 15, 20 years ago was all black. You know.
And what area?
So we're on the Williams area right now. And actually this church right here that we're in, it used to be called Craigos. It was a huge shopping mart that I used to come give me a 35-cent Dr. Pepper, 50-cent JoJo's. It'd be 6 big fat JoJo's in the bag. And this is the spot. And then across the street was the House of Sound, where you get when all the new music come out, you go to the House of Sound. It was a black man, Mr. Williams, that owned the spot. It was cool. It was culture. Then they have Franklin's on Alberta. And now you see, and what was hurt me so bad, I was with a friend from Seattle. She was a hostess to the show that I have, Taste the City. We were having lunch a couple of years ago, and we were in Alberta. And I kind of just slumped down in my seat, and I was just like, man. She's like, Nehemiah, what's going on? I said, man, I'm depressed. I feel like an alien. Yeah. Because everywhere I looked, I didn't see nobody that looked like me. Yeah. And nobody in history migrates that fast. Yeah. You don't occupy a place for 60, 70 years, and then within 10, 15, 20 years, just totally wiped out. Yeah. And it's nothing against the people that came. They're great people. But my thing is this: instead of you doing the gentrification, learn how to work with the indigenous people that was in that community first. Yeah. It almost felt like a takeover. Okay. It was like, well, y'all had it wasn't popping, but now we got it. Okay. It's popping now. We don't give every benefit tax-wise that we possibly can. So that's kind of, we were here in a nutshell. Okay. And we're going to kind of go and do a deep dive in a lot of these different topics.
I think a deep dive would do Portland some good, because it's all about creating conversation.
Correct.
You know, most of what I do when I have a conversation, I want to give like different perspectives so people can take a look in.
Correct.
And then they go in on their own and learn on their own. So correct. I might have a different perspective. But I feel like if we have some leaders that can come up in the city, this is our generation time, correct, bro. Correct. I just want you to know that.
Yes.
This is our generation time right now.
Right now.
And if we have a strong enough perspective, we can create change. What kind of change do you see happening? What kind of change needs to happen in Portland?
What change needs to happen is that we need to totally even the playing field for opportunities to businesses. Okay. With people of color. I know several people that it's really difficult for them to get loans, get access to property, and they say it's not color related or whatnot, but yet still other people in the same positions don't have any problems. The access. Yes. So access, and then financial literacy, things like that. And tax laws, talking about some of the things that other cultures are benefiting. Okay. We just need to even the playing field. Now how that needs to happen, that's another conversation. Yeah. But it's definitely been systemically, that has been taken from certain groups. Okay. In this city.
If you could give me one example of a change you want to see, what would it be? Just one example of one change.
I want to see a black man like myself own one of them buildings downtown. Okay. One of those skyscraper buildings. He could be in business with a bunch of people, and I told myself that that's the kind of goal that I wanted to have, to own that and to create opportunities for other people to look like me.
And I'm gonna tell you something about having an ambitious idea, and you are in a city that you're playing an uphill battle. When you have an ambitious idea, you have to have an ambitious vision.
Correct.
You have to be very savvy in business. You have to create that stream of income.
Correct.
So how do you take music, film, ministry, technology, and how do you merge those four worlds? We talking technology, ministry, film, and production, and create the kind of powerhouse in business to have that kind of situation where you can employ young people, you can lead young people. And so what I would say to you as a person who's thinking like that, because I'm in 3 parts of the country right now. I'm based in Atlanta, I'm based in Southern California. Now, as of July of this year, I just went and looked at a place. I'm about to get a property in outskirts of San Francisco so I can have a media base there. And so my thoughts is to grow my audience, but also grow my workspace, where now I got a production team. And so, I would say you hold a lot of those keys. Right. Creating music from an independent perspective. You got a whole production house right here, So you can, whether you working for companies or working for yourself, or whether you for hire, you got numerous things that you can do. Then you have the ministry. I want you to don't the people that you're learning from, don't take for granted that your time now isn't time that it wasn't before. So in the past, you've grown now. When I asked you who is Nehemiah, you've grown. You're mature now. You've learned some things, so you can teach some people some stuff. And so I do want you to think about, how do I expand my empire? How do I become that person that attracts people to the city of Portland? And when they come see me, I have something to offer them. And then what are you thinking about creating for the culture of Portland to generate a lot of money that you can take it and put it back into a center, back into a co-working space, a media lab, and partner with Nike, and partner with Adidas, and partner with Portland as a sports agency, and say, hey man, I need some help to build up this industry. I got these young people. I got a lot of talent here. You told me about this untapped talent. So what's the next move in 2021?
To 2021, it's funny, we just had this conversation. So obviously media is a huge thing of what I do or whatnot, and it's a fast way to get your message out and affect a lot of people. But my goal is that everything that you just said is to take what I'm doing and scale it.
Okay.
And so the word of the day is scale. And scaling is going to, if you can take and duplicate 10 Nehemiahs in 10 different parts of the country, then we're having these buildings, we having the ability to affect change on a massive scale. Now, buildings may not be the new thing now with this whole COVID thing, and people giving up their leases or whatnot, and we finding out working remotely is just as powerful. But basically taking all what you just said, ministry, film, music, tech, and scaling that. And the way that I'm going to do that is through a school or some type of training. Financial literacy, all these different things like that to train communities and groups of people that have been left behind. So generations that come after me will have somebody have a leg up.
So I'm gonna give you a good example of what I've seen happen. There's a change in culture and there's a change in opportunity. So right now, everybody has to go digital. Everybody has a live stream. So you was just working. You was just working when, right before I got here, you was working. Tell me a little bit about the work you're doing here with the pastor. Tell me a little bit about, that, like how.
So what I'm doing is my services, NEBOO Creative, NEBOOcreative.com. That's NEBOO creative.com. Basically, my services are to churches, to organizations, and basically I'm helping people transfer in a creative way their message to the masses via TV, via online. And so I'm helping by the gifts that I have for them to do that, make that transition easier, because it's a really stressful time for a lot of people, especially if you've been preaching to 1,000 people every Sunday and now you're preaching to one camera. So coaching and making sure that things come off right. So that's what I'm doing. And it's not to just churches, to any organizations. I just shot worked on a commercial with General Mills with a good friend of mine, Dustin Tolman, another great videographer, and he was the main director on the shoot. And we were in LA doing something for a national ad. Yeah. So we do it all, man. And that's what and that's kind of what it is, you know.
That's a creative, a true creative in this day and age. Gotta wear a lot of hats.
Got to. You can't be a one-trick pony.
No, because a lot of hats can potentially create number of streams of income.
Correct.
And in this age that we're living in, this is the age of create, independent streams of income.
Correct.
Take that and invest it back.
Correct.
What's your value proposition for the future, and what's the investment? What's the next? What's next for NehemiahBooker? Like, what's the value proposition of the future?
My value proposition of the future is to take everything that I'm doing, streamline it, and scale it, so I could create generational wealth for my kids and their kids.
Okay.
And their kids.
Okay.
And then maybe they can look at this video 50 years or 100 years from now, and I'll probably be gone by then, but they be like, man, my grandpa, he was on it. He did it. Yeah. He did it for us. So this is
I want to work with you.
I would love to work with you too, man.
I want to work with you. It's already it's written in stone, man. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, live and direct. It's a vonzell, visionary filmmaker, sitting here with my brother Nehemiah, and I've learned a lot about, his spirit, and I don't want you to take that for granted, that spirit, man. That spirit, a lot of times we come up and we have things that we want to do, but we forget a lot of times that our spirit is the most important thing.
Amen.
Your spirit is this very important and powerful thing.
Yeah.
And so take that spirit and go back and remember why your mom pushed you to the stage.
Yeah.
She was creating a life for you. She was creating hope for you. Right now, you're sitting in this seat because she and the family, mom, dad, uncle, everybody who played instruments, everybody who, look, you got to come here and work and become somebody. They're the reason why you are who you are today. So I don't want you to ever think that this is just about you. This is about your kids. This is about your family legacy. This is about mom saying, oh, my son gonna be somebody because I'm gonna see to it. I'm gonna see to it, And so, man, I always lead with solutions. I'm bringing 3 solutions. One solution, NehemiahBooker Ministries, man. Some form of ministry where you can get out here and give back and let these kids understand how did you get in the music industry. What did the music industry teach you as a gospel singer? Like, master classes can come out of this ministry. A school setting that's online can come out of this ministry. You see how we got this set up, this 2-camera setup?
Yeah.
You create that same 2-camera setup and you teach these kids and they go in and take this master class. All right, second thing, technology, the things that you learn from Ryan. He said he's gonna open a door for you and you run through it.
Yeah.
So I need you to create that same community center that Treehouse is. I need that same community center for the Black Treehouse.
Amen.
The black city. What's the black
and I actually was working with a guy named Sticks Watts. Sticks, he out in Watts, California, and he did some stuff with Nipsey Hussle before he passed. But we were actually working on that with Ryan and everything prior to the COVID.
Don't stop that.
Yeah, we still talking.
Everything is 10 and 20 year time.
Correct.
And that third thing, I feel like the third thing is really important is that, because style has always been your thing. Create some products.
Correct. So I got a line.
Okay.
NEBOO Unique.
Okay.
That's coming. It's going to be T-shirts and some undergarments for men.
But I think you need to do the stuff you do. The hats and the glasses and the hoodies. And then I also think you need to think about.
Oh, and we got this. We got the mask.
I think you need to do beard culture and hair culture too. Because a lot of times we, as a culture, we embrace something, but we don't monetize it and capitalize on it.
Correct.
So you've had, how long you been growing it?
So I've been growing my locks. See, I got long locks in the back, everybody. I've been about 10 years plus, and I actually got a lock and oil that with a scientist right now, and we're working on it. So I ain't hit the name. Yeah. Everything you saying, we own it.
Game pack. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't unload it a lot, man. We don't unpack it a lot. You know, anytime I come to a house, you know, a spiritual house, a house that is, you know, putting work out in the community. I'm in a spiritual house. So for me, I feel like, you know, it was meant for me to come sit with you. Give me some encouragement for 2021.
Man, right now in 2021, telling all of you all, learn to pivot. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Don't allow your yesterdays to affect your todays.
Okay.
Don't take life for granted.
Okay.
Tell everybody that you know that you love them. Don't let our negativity, what's happening in our world, become our belt.
Okay.
And we carrying that around. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let's start fresh.
Yeah.
Let's love one another and create art.
Yeah.
Let's be beautiful in every aspect, in the way you look, the way you think,
Feel,
the way you feel,
how you express yourself,
exactly,
how you treat people,
correct,
how you move around in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
And then what you just said, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Because believe it's all coming back.
Yeah, that's a principle.
It's all coming back.
Thank you, man. You know, I just appreciate you, brother. You know,
I appreciate you, man.
And give me, you know, the title of the next single. And
Yeah. I gotta.
You gonna keep it on the low? Or
No. We can talk. I got a single called Rome, and so Rome wasn't built in a day.
Okay.
And I'm working.
Give me a piece of it a little bit, man. Just a little something on it.
Let's see. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm loving you today. Need you today. Baby girl, let's wait. Whoa, Rome, Rome, oh, Rome, yeah. Yeah, you gotta wait for the rest.
Okay. I ain't gonna keep it, my brother.
It's coming for real.
I ain't gonna keep it. Rome is coming. What can we find you at, man? Give me some shout outs for social media.
Yeah.
Online. What can we find?
Online, Instagram, NehemiahOnline.com or whatever Instagram is. Twitter, NehemiahBooker. Twitter. Facebook, NehemiahBooker, website, NehemiahBooker.com, and then my media company is NEBOOCreative.com.
NEBOO
Creative, and that's NEBOO Creative.com.
Where's the name from?
NEBOO. So NEBOO is Nehemiah Booker smushed together.
Okay, NEBOO.
NEBOO.
Okay. So that's a short. Okay.
Yeah, it's a short. Yeah, NEBOO.
I like that. That's a brand.
Yeah.
Hey, my brother. Thank you, man, for opening the door for me.
Thank you.
Any shout outs?
Man, I want to shout out my wife.
Yeah, you definitely want to shout out
my beautiful wife, Brandy Booker Osagi. I love you dearly.
Yeah.
I want to shout out all my kids, Johanna, Christian, Keziah, Rebecca, and Yael.
Yeah.
And I love you guys all. But most importantly, man, I kind of teared up a little bit, but my mother, Sandra Booker, and my father, Reverend James Booker, and to all, so many that help create it. When they say it takes a village to raise a child, it was a village that helped raise me. So many people helped in my development. My family, I love you guys all, and most important, not least, God, man, because I would have nothing. None of this would be possible without the gifts that God has given me.
Hey, man, listen, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. You know, I'm proud of you, man. I support what you're doing. You know, I'll be back in Portland. I look to sit down and have a conversation with you and Ryan and
let's do it.
You know, around technology.
Yeah, do like a panel.
Just keep going. You know, it's a wrap, my brother.
It's a cut. Rap. Appreciate it. All right, man. Appreciate you.